It's sprint zone time again, and this one's for the first day of November. It'll be the new prospect sprint zone, and we've got a really good turnout today. You'll notice that we've got Carrie and Joel up front, and there are actually about 4 or 5 other riders that have violated the rules of engagement and gone off the front early. They kind of eased off the front. I made a call coming up County Road 5 here to like chill a little bit because you can see that my heart rate's like 162 coming up in the warm up, and that's normally reserved for in the middle of the sprint zone. Regardless, the sprint zone officially starts when everyone gets around this corner and we may then begin. Not when you get around the corner, it's when everyone gets around the corner. So here we go. We got Byron pulls off a little bit. He's got some mechanical or something to take care of, and it's somewhat go time. My heart rate's coming down a little bit, and the group is kind of taking it easy here, sort of kind of waiting for Byron, but no one wants to hit it hard. And there are those carrots up the road here at this point. I'm at the rear, and I'm going to cruise through the group. And we see back here, we see Rick Lutz. Like to say, hey, welcome back to the fold. Nice to see you here. And as long as we're doing like shout outs, I'd like to do a shout out to James Stevens' wife, Lori. Got a chance to meet her at the Cross of the North. Seems like a really nice person, and I can see why James is motivated to stay in shape. But I digress. Settling into the middle of the pack, it's a big crew today, and we've got a lot of like guest riders. Got Wolfgang here. I believe it's his first time out, and I probably should have spent some time talking about the rules of engagement. I maybe have made the assumption that a lot of people have watched these videos, probably hubris on my part, but regardless, I should have because maybe that would have quelled some of this. Anyway, there are riders up the road that know better, but I guess it's the contagion that comes from other groups, the TTH in particular. And I'll just make this statement. If you want to ride like TTH, you can go ride TTH. Enough on that. I may rant a little bit longer on that one. Got John Lawler in front of us, riding strong. Got Tim there, Joel there, and Isla has a really good position. She's been riding super strong lately. Not certain why she didn't make this little surge, but now that I see the wattage being put out, I understand that. That's a good move by her because she can sag back through the group and still be able to maintain contact. Got Curtis right behind me, and I know that he is going to be up near the front. A few weeks ago, he was gapped off because he was too far back and there was an attack and he got boxed in. And everyone lives and everyone learns to ride the sprint zone another day. And this is a good example of what the learning is. So we're kind of in chase here. I'm really happy to let those 4 or 5 riders go up the road since at this point they've violated the rules of engagement and are not part of this contest. I would like to say shout out to JC because he was with those guys, but he's got a higher social group intelligence than a lot of other people, and he kind of sat up and waited for us. And I don't know why the other riders didn't take note of that. I don't know if it's the, big man itis where, your ego is pinned to like how well you're doing these little things. But anyway, so Dean makes a savage effort to sacrifice himself to try to bring those guys back. And with those guys up the road, they have totally colored this event. I'm suffering right now. Looking at my heart rate at 169, 170, I'm not certain what's up with that. It could be because I'm overdressed and my body's trying to cool itself, but I'm struggling here. Got JC coming off the front, Steve Hyland working hard up front. Got John Lawler there. We got Scott, and I'm not certain who else is up front, but we are ramming and a thumping. And look at the speed there, 30 miles per hour. And there's no great tailwind here. I mean, this is being earned. Perhaps this is why my heart rate is so high. And look at the wattage. 300 and some watts there, 200 watts. Yeah, this is over my FTP and I'm feeling bad because I can't really contribute. Let's see who's pulling off here. So that was Carey, who had been absent for a while, and I think it's his first Tuesday sprint zone in a while. So he drifts back. I slot up, got high RPMs, good wattage, and this is really the first time I'm looking at my wattage and heart rate in earnest. And I was wondering why I was just like hanging on here. Looking rearwards, pretty much everyone is in tow. The draft must be much better back there. I mean, I've got some good draft here, but it's not great. And looking at the kind of wattage that I'm trying to hold down just to keep that position, I now understand why I was suffering. Good group back here. Curtis looking super strong. Justin moving up on the shoulder right side, wanting to stay in contention. And the carrot is up the road. I'd like to make a note. JC is doing like a serious ton of work there. And it's been him and Steve Hyland that have just been hanging it out to chase these guys. That being said, it is a nice challenge to have carrots up the road, but the riders that are up the road are really strong. And normally we would have had Byron with us. The group didn't really wait for Byron, unfortunately. And if Byron was at full strength, I would not be concerned. But Byron is not. And as such, it's going to be a hard effort here. 20 miles an hour. Look at my wattage. The high threes up to 400 watts. I think I saw almost 450 in there. And my heart rate up to 169. So I'm totally on the rivet here. JC comes off, and Steve Hyland up at the front. I mean, these are strong riders that are not afraid to do work. And here goes John Lawler. So I think this is kind of a foolish move. I don't think John has the ability, or I don't know if he was aware that he was not helping the group. I think he was full of hubris. I think he thought he could close that gap on his own. Had he eased to the front, let Steve and JC get a good bit of a breather, we might have been able to bring those in. But this is a fool's errand. I mean, in the old days, he might be able to hold 1,000 watts for a minute, but these are not the old days. And you can see this is a good tactic, you know, by the guys up front. Divide and conquer. The strongmen have been divided, and we've been conquered. There was an engine right there that could have been helping us, giving Steve a break, giving JC a break, giving Scott a break, and maybe some recovery for me, but that's not happening. So now my heart rate's in the 180s. I thought my max heart rate was 177. Apparently, that is not the case because I haven't seen heart rate this high in a long time. So I'm basically dead here. 185, 186. This is crazy for me. Um, yeah, so I can see I'm not long for the earth. It's really good that I don't actually look at this telemetry stuff while I'm actually riding. I'm just focused on kind of hanging on. And JC taking the lion's share brings back Mr. Lawler. um, Nice try, but that was like foolish. And the excitement gets a hold of people, and I get that. But he's a seasoned rider and knows better. So now I'm like number three up, number four up here, and this is when I give up the ghost. And everybody comes by me. There goes Andy Lockwood and Rick Lutz, who I've seen up on the Zwift holding it down. Today's not my day, but it is their day. So this will give me a chance to like ramble on for a little while. Let's look at the scenery and see what's happening. My heart rate's still 175, 176 or so, coming down slowly. So then we do the old like, okay, let's speed up things, and because I like looking at my editing software, and no one wants to hear me ramble on for a long time. Bunch of riders pass me as we drift up to the finish there. You can see how far ahead, and there they were. There were the leaders who were able to be ahead. Oh, not quite certain what's here, but anyway, a good time was had by all, and I will do this again. Peace out. Kind of interesting the way the software doubled that up. Uh, okay, so I ramble. Here we'll get a good look at the recalcitrants up there, and there they are. Those are the four who violated the rules of engagement, and you can see how close everybody else was. Um, yeah, so you can keep your TTH ways. The people that know the group etiquette follow the intelligence of JC. That's all I have to say about that until next time. Peace.